The sound therapy on its own is a profound, subtle, and beautiful healing process.
Sound therapy? Well, we say I'm feeling sound, meaning that I'm feeling healthy. It's because in the very beginning, we started with sound. And the sound that we first heard was the same sound which is called the mother sound when we were in the womb.
It started thousands of years ago. It was always very popular in China and other Asian countries, and it was used for spiritual reasons and for healing reasons.
So when Don first started teaching in the 80s, it was very fringe. People didn't know what was going on with this weird thing. And then in the 70s, Yogi Bhajan brought it to the US and started spreading Kundalini Yoga around the world. And incorporating gong at the end of a Kundalini Yoga practice was a lot of people's first taste of the gong.
So when we use gongs and singing bowls, they target your beta brain waves, and they literally help you to release pain, to rehydrate your blood, to relax. So if you're heartbroken, if you're not well, it kind of resets you.
Gongs for me they're the mirrors of our consciousness. They are torches that shine light on your shadow.
And utilizing the gong, we are sending frequencies to our brain, and through the practices of the gong teachings, we are creating more synapses in our brain. We are actually getting ourselves to an elevated state. In Don's teaching, he talks about how we are Homo sapiens, and the next level of evolution is to become a Homo luminous spiritualis.
So to be here in the earth, amongst the trees, which is my element, and have the frequency waves of the gong, it just took me to another place. I just was in a trance, and it felt really, really good. Like my inner child came out. I didn't want to get up. So I'm grateful to have been receiving all that beautiful energy and frequencies, for sure.
When you play the gong, you put your hands near the gong, you feel the prana hitting your hands. So people used to go up to the gong and get their hands within maybe a couple inches from the gong and then hit it and absorb the healing energy into the hands and goes into the body. In other words, the waters of the ocean of Om produced by the gong brings back a levitation, a lightness to people. And some people experience for the first time that they being out of the body experience, an OBE. So once people come in and they experience that being awake while asleep, to being totally expanded beyond their body, be in their body at the same time, that is called dissolving our dualities in life. And this opens up the creative why you are here. Sometimes people find out the reason for their existence in the early years or later years. But always that's the road that we call the road back to Om.
So with a gong, you can very easily lose yourself, but it also shows you who you really are, like truly are.
The first thing that you're going to do is experience an etheric and astral release of things that hold you down or hold you back in life, the gravity of your situation. We call it the Gong City, that goes in and goes through everything and dematerializes our perceptions. Sound healing makes you creative. The creative consciousness, we call it cosmic creative consciousness. Some people call it God consciousness. Some people call it this and that. But it is when the limitations or the binders of life are no longer needed as protections against the rest of the world, but it's a total embrace of the whole.
There's many different ways of receiving sound. I could have earplugs in and my body is still going to receive the frequencies of the sound. So it's not necessarily just an ear thing. The ear is absorbing sound. However, the skin is your largest organ. It is receiving all of those frequencies.
Children and adults allow themselves to be distracted, and when you use sound, whether it's a gong, whether it's your voice, you're bringing the presence.
I am here to teach throat singing and a variety of techniques that involve throat singing to help people learn how to use their voice and tap into their internal body so that they may induce their own expression and self-healing and ignite others to sing and inspire others with their own self-confidence through giving permission through the feeling of heart-expressive, deep internal song. Really, singing and practicing and hearing each other's expressions gives us the ability to feel the vibrations and hear the tones of others, so we may absorb that into our body, feel how that feels, and then find a way to mimic in our own expression. And I truly believe anybody can do it, with the exception if you have an injury or something that stops you. There's things you can do to heal and work on yourself to develop your voice back and regenerate and repair it. When you do these practices, you have to be relaxed in order to have awareness and find the deeper places, because we're working with parts of our body that we may have never tapped into.
More than 70% of our body is made of water, and water is the medium to connect with the vibes of the Jiddu. So when you're doing a healing session with the Jiddu, you're connecting with the body of people through the water that they have in their body. When you start involving with the circular breathing, you start being part of the instrument, your body, your lungs, your diaphragm, everything is moving with the vibes. This is a very deep healing state for the player and also for the people listening.
When you play on the flute, you are breathing. But when you are breathing slowly, the people which listen you start to breathing like you play. So when you play the really calm songs, or your public or people which are hearing the music, they calm down, like the music guide them. You can express this what is really deepest on you, even if you don't know, if you cannot use the words to say how you feel. When you try to play on your flute, then you hear what is in you actually.
It awakens the cells. You can just feel it moving through your whole body. All these sounds of the gong coming through, and the bowls and the flutes and everything. It was just like a piece of magic. Like you were just in this absorbing, I don't know, energy from the cosmos and the elements all in one.
The 2025 is called the day of either total world peace and functional harmony and gift giving. We can't leave that out. The gong is the greatest gift giver. So it trains you or the listener to become a gift giver. Gift giving is the secret to countries and people working together. I was really inspired by Robert Mueller. He was the head of the People's United Nations. And he said the day of world peace will come when people gather in groups, give thanks for life and breath, and listen to all the gongs and bells ring again around the planet. That will be the first day of world peace.
I feel a bit emotional just saying it, but his last training, it felt to me that something so special, because he's leaving a legacy, and Even today in his trainings, it really comes through the passion that he teaches with. And there's just this powerful aura that he has and he holds. You can feel his alignment with his profession, with his passion, with his dharma.
This course has brought me another level of awareness about frequency and energy and how that wave can support bringing people to absolute calm. And I'm all about transformation. So if I can have another tool in my toolkit to support people to transform and live the life of their truth, then this course for me has been everything.